Hey everyone, so it's me Tiana, and I am back with my second video in my agenda series. Now, I just finished my last video talking about my bare bones dollar store agenda, but in this video I wanted to go through a agenda that I got at Staples, and this is a 2011-2012 agenda. You can see that my other one was a 2012-2013 agenda. But this was, it might be old, but I thought it was a great example to show you guys. And I do keep all of my agendas because I'm weird like that. So basically this agenda I got at Staples, and you can see down here it says Staples. And I think that we paid, I want to say between $5 and $7 for it. So again, a much different price point than your $2 agenda. However, it does come with other features as well that I thought were necessary at the time. So when you open it up, you just have this cute little thing. Then you have all kinds of things where you can put in like information, medical information, emergency information. Then in the front here you have a class schedule, so you can write out your schedule if need be. I'm going to apologize in advance for the camera focusing and refocusing. I just need to be able to show you guys a lot of different things in the agenda, so it's gonna do that. Now you have a sheet with dates to remember, and then it just gives you the option for your name, your birthday, your anniversary, whatever the case may be. Now moving over here, you have your 2011, 2012, and 2013 year at a glance page, which is very helpful when you're just looking at dates. And then you have your just month at a glance. Now, things that I really like about this agenda, I like the little watermark detailings in behind the month at a glance and the week at a glance. I just think that it gives it a really cute touch of personality. I really like the decoration, the way that it's like messy but cute at the same time. I really like how they give you a notes section over on the side here, which was not found in my other agenda. And I like how they give you the month before and the month after as well, so that you can look at dates without having to flip to your year at a glance. Now, I also like how they've given me these boxes. However, the boxes are not aligned, which for some people might be a drawback. It all depends on your own personal taste and preference and whatnot. The other thing that I will say is that they haven't blocked this off as a notes section, which, you know, they could have probably done to give you a little bit more room to write, or they could have done dates to remember up here as a better use of space. However, it is not an expensive agenda, and so you can't be too picky. I do also like the fact that there's July, and then right behind it is the week at a glance, whereas in some planners you have all of your month at a glance lined up, and then you have your weeks at a glance like in a separate section, and that's just not something that I appreciate. Sorry for the camera wobbling. It's just not something that I like. I like to have my month at a glance, week at a glance right behind each other. Now, the other con that I will mention about this agenda is that it has this metal binding. Now, I looked at this and I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, it's not going to break. That's perfect. The problem is that when this is in your bag, it actually gets like squished and pushed all different weird ways. And it can make the pages kind of hard to flip. But it's metal, right? So you can always bend it back if need be. I'm just trying to think of where I had like the best things to show you. As you can see, I was in grade 8 here, so I didn't really write too much in my agenda, and this is really out of focus. But like here, I had math homework, my band write-up, which was really important, clearly. But yeah, this is just kind of the general overview of my agenda, things that I liked. I started to use some color here, which was awesome. So yeah, you can color code things, and once again, they continue to give you your month previous and your month afterwards, and I had circled dates that were important for something. What? I'm not quite sure at the moment. I also like how they gave you the notes section at the bottom of each of these. It does minimize a little bit how much space you actually get in terms of like writing stuff. However, it does give you something where you can just do little notes. Now moving on to the back of the calendar. I love the fact that they gave you all of these wonderful note pages. They also had a telephone address in the back. Let me just refocus this. And then they had, like time zones. They had elements, for science. They had the periodic table. They had angles, a multiplication table, a metric conversion table. A grade keeper, a holiday list, all stuff which I thought was very cool. Now, overall for this agenda, I obviously did like it better than my dollar store agenda. However, I did find the spine annoying. I did find that there wasn't still enough space for me to write, and I really wanted to be able to do something that gave me a little bit more creative freedom. I loved the layout of this. I did use it for the entire year. Whether I was very religious with it or not, I did use it, and I think that it's a very good agenda for anybody who just wants something to write down their homework. They don't want anything fancy. So overall, this is kind of my review of this agenda. Now, when you're thinking about getting an agenda and you're looking at all of the agendas in Staples, you need to think about how much you're actually going to be writing in your agenda. Because if you plan to write a lot, like I said in my last video, you might want to get a bigger agenda. Like this is, a fairly small agenda, and you might want to get something that is like a full sheet of paper, like an 8.5 by 11 type size. You also want to think about like your month, like things that are incorporated in your month. Do you need a notes section? Do you want lined boxes on your monthly calendar? Other things like the extras, do you really need them? I can't tell you how many times my periodic table came in handy that year. I was so happy that I had it in my agenda. But for some people, if you're not taking sciences, that might be a nuisance. You might not need that page. I'm not doing maths next year, so that angles page would be completely useless for me. You also need to look at the age of the resources, because when I'm looking at the back, these resources really seem to be tailored to somebody who's in from grade 7 to grade 9, I would say, which was perfect for me because that's when I had this planner. However, going into grade 11, I don't think that it would be the right size for me. You also need to think about your grade and how much homework you're going to have, which goes along with how much writing you're going to be doing, because the more writing you're doing, the more space you need. So anyways, I hope that you guys found these tips useful, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye, guys!